giving us all the input that you just did. Well, coming from a lawyer, even lawyers will say that those cases are just few and far between. But do you think the reality lies somewhere else, Ranjit Lakshmi?
If I go by, like if I understand what he's trying to say, if he says only 3% out of the general thing, it's mainly because, a lot of men don't want to come up in the open.
Goes unreported.
They don't want to, because in our society, we have always been considering, or rather it's viewed that man is stronger than the women. Man has a capability of not crying. He should not cry. He should be able to cope up. He's the who is in the command of the family. So therefore, what happens is he's the one who gives direction. So therefore, he cannot accept that he is unable to do that. So it is very difficult for a man to come up in open and say that, look, I'm sorry, I'm not been able to control my family, because it's not that, we all accept it, but then society generally tries to understand it that way. Of course, the trend is changing, but that's very, very little. It's only in the urban sector that where, again, the economic, where the, both the partners are equally earning, maybe this kind of understanding is not there. But in general, men are considered in our society to be stronger. They cannot weep, they should not cry, they should not express that they are unable to take a direction in their family.
That's
so
right.
Therefore, the evidences do that, there are less evidences to be actually, seen in the society.
Well, we'll try and analyze that, but after this short break that we have to slip into right now, so people do come back quickly, as we still are talking about the impact of something rather important, as we are talking about the impact of divorce on men. Well, during the program today, we did talk to the Supreme Court lawyer, Mr. Ajay Veer Singh Jain, who said that if there is any man suffering there, first thing that he has to do is collect evidence. So I'd like to come to you here, that though it is easy said than done, how will you look at that?
Yes, you have the evidence, then after 15 years you will get the justice. That is the biggest problem. Okay, anyway, see, when the court will look the evidence, in the marriage disputes all over the world, they consider in the civil law. Civil law means, yes, you will not be having direct evidence, but indirect evidence and the link. But problem in India, marriage dispute had been considered as a crime for not only the husband, mother, sister, brother, whole family. So what happened when such type of thing is there? Though the husband is having the evidences, he might have purchased 3 cars in the wife's name, or 2 flat in the flat also her name. But when in the court it will come at the initial stage, that evidence comes at the time of trial, that may take 10 years, 15 years. But at the initial level, all the shooting will be done against the husband, and that is the biggest problem. That's why I told. As a society built by us, and okay, diverse pupils are increasing, so they are making their own communities, own social circle. But law, judiciary and the administrative parts still not taken in open heart. They are still in that mode. Any divorce is coming means husband is a wife beater or wife abuser, so put him in jail or put him his mother or sister behind the bar. So this is very much dangerous, and if such thing does not stop, sometime I used to ask a lot of women organization also, even to NCW chief also. They always try to project a woman is getting divorced means she is a liberated woman. Okay. Then I asked them, ma'am, if we go back the history, marriage system was not there. So to welfare of a woman and welfare of the child, this marriage institution was made. If tomorrow you say divorce increased to 40%, 50%, though men will face the problem at initially, because mentally cope up is very difficult for a man initial 1 or 2 years. But after that, when they get from other social networking, then they come out.
All right. I'll have to come back here, but before that, we have Sanjay with us from Hyderabad. So Sanjay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Madam, just if suppose both husband and wife have anti-parallel thinking, their liking and dislikings are all opposite to each other, right? And there is regular chaos in the family. Then what should be the right solution for that?
Well, that's a good question. What should be the right solution for two people, yes, married?
You know what? I wanted to say something there. That's very crucial. You see, like our colleagues have been saying, for good or bad, the Western countries have had a larger experience with separation and divorce. And so those trends, like many other areas, follow here. For last few years, at the Institute on Mental Health, in Delhi and Ibas, we have been getting more and more referrals from the regular courts, the family and divorce courts, as well as from the family counseling centers. So what is good is that there are also, I think by now, our legal and judiciary colleagues who are beginning to understand the issue of interpersonal and mental health and adjustment issues. So we get referrals that frankly 5 years ago we were not ready for. Right? As a mental health treatment center, as a psychiatric service center, we deal with mental illnesses, diagnose them and treat them, or at best counseling or family therapy.
True.
Now, when you begin to get referrals from courts about, okay, assess this couple and help them or advise us. We were not ready for it, frankly, but we are now beginning to ready ourselves for it. So there's one silver lining. Which is one good thing. But I think what's crucial is this. What our lawyer friend was saying, and I don't know if you can get him back for us or not, but what our lawyer friend Ajay Veer Singh was saying raises other issue also, I think, for you to comment on later. You see, he was saying that when the lady or the lady's family goes to the lawyer and you're preparing the divorce petition, you obviously he said, put it in the lawyer's words, terminology, or exaggerate it. I would even say magnify it or make it so melodramatic, as Ajay Veer Singh said, right?
Yes.
Now, this is where I think the crucial thing that I would have liked to ask him is, this, if we look back, happens in every case. Forget divorce or marriage.
Right.
Whether there is land dispute, whether there is business issues, whether there is anything, the legal language is different. Each side's lawyer pumps the client up and say, you know what, unless you fire more guns, it will not happen. Now, this is the thing that I have, as a person and as a professional, really wondered about. And I want to put it on the table here for them to respond or our listeners to review. You see, like he said, the legal courts deal with the legal rights, children, property, or at best the other economic issues. Whereas marriage is much more than the legal and the economic issues.
That's right.
The marriage is about, any marriage or family relationship is about emotional and social issues. And it is this interface that makes, I think, divorce, process in the court of law most horrendous for both parties.
Absolutely.
Inadvertently, because both the lawyers in their professionalism and efficiency are firing all guns in those written statements.
That's right.
Two people who have been together for X number of years at the closest kind of go through firing. And that is somewhere where I think the provision of family counseling courts is useful. Courts referring to mental health centers is useful, so that don't look at divorce petitions only as a legal issue, but please realize that it's a interpersonal social issue.
That's right. In fact, just in yesterday's newspaper, Om Puri has gone on record to say that I really feel guilty about the way I treated my ex-wife, especially to get a divorce from her. So it's exactly what you just said. Well, now we have with us Mr. S.B. Singh from Mumbai. So Mr. Singh, if you can hear me, shoot your question.
I can hear you, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead.
I just wanted to relate. I've got a younger brother who got married almost 1.5 years before. And she is, I would say the girl is, she is a very emotional girl. She's okay, but maybe 10% of the time, of the total time, whenever she gets angry, she gets out of the way, whether it is related to me or my mother or my brother.